Buon 5 maggio a tutti, a good 5th of May to all the Juventini of the world. Unfortunately, we need to postpone the celebrations because we have a breaking news, as you just saw in the images. Andrea Cambiaso this morning in the J Medical, and that's the bad news, a new injury for the Bianconeri. But I know what's the problem in La Continassa. We don't eat enough apples. Because you know the quote, 1 apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, probably that quote, that motto, they never heard it in La Continassa. Or they decided to totally change it in 1 injury a game. That's J Medical's aim. What a disaster. You're here to hear about the Bologna 1, Juve 1 game the day after, because yesterday I was not able to do the post game. I will speak about it, of course, but I'm worried about the future. The future is already on Saturday. Lazio Juve. I'm really worried. Without Kenan, without Cambiaso, because he will miss the game. That's already sure. How many he will miss, we don't know. But that one, he will miss certainly. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you're all doing well. Put a maximum of like if you didn't yet. We are back at home after a 3-day trip in Sardinia, where I need to say that from a professional point of view, I learned so much. It was an incredible experience from a professional point of view. Then as a content creator, really beautiful experience. Then as a Juventino, the best experience of my life. Because not only I met President Ferrero, but also Andrea Barzagli, Giaccherini, happy birthday to Emanuele. Really, what a fantastic person. Later, at the end of the video, for people that are interested, maybe I will do a mini recap of what we did there and how great Giaccherini was, Barzagli was, etc, etc. But let me say hello to a few Juventini. I met more than 200, but to a few. The GOFC's, Juventus official fan club presidents that were there. Blago, that recorded yesterday with me, GOFC president of Bulgaria. Hossein from Iran. We had people from New Jersey, Raffaele, Vancouver, Barcelona, Stefano. We met people, you know that there is a Juventus official fan club in Tenerife, Juventini of the world, and then so many from Italian regions, La Lombardia, Turin, Sicily. It was really beautiful. It was really beautiful. So thank you again, because, you know, sometimes it's tough. As a content creator, life is not always easy. But then when I see all these Juventini, I know that I made a really great choice to start speaking about Juve in English, to speak about Juve, because the act of love, you know, the hugs, the handshakes were really sincere. So really thank you for that. Andrea Cambiaso, we have the news. Muscular injury, we already saw him yesterday going out of the game, subbed by Alberto Costa. What did he miss? You know, that knowing the result, knowing that Alberto Costa missed something, watching the highlights of the second half, when McKennie is giving him that pass, I celebrate instinctively. I said he will score, even knowing that he would not, because it's impossible to miss. We'll speak about it in a second. Well, Andrea Cambiaso yesterday, 62nd minute he was subbed out, or 65th, I don't remember. Muscular injury. In 7 days they will do new tests, so it could be that he missed not only Lazio Juve but also Juve Udinese, the last one at home, and maybe, who knows, even the biggest game of the season that could potentially be Venezia Juve, because Venezia could probably fight for their life to remain in Serie A, with Juve that is still fighting, hopefully, for entering the top 4. So it could be a real disaster. Could be the end of the season for Cambiaso, on top of Lloyd Kelly, on top of Bremer, on top of Caballo, on top of so many guys. Yesterday, the game, I didn't watch it completely. I must be totally honest with you. I started to watch the first half in the airport, and also, if the girl that was sitting to me waiting for the plane in the airport of Munich is watching the video, I'm extremely sorry. I'm extremely sorry for my behavior, and especially to have scared you when Thuram scored, because I couldn't resist. It was extremely calm in the airport. Thuram scores, and I jumped a bit in the air. She was totally scared with all the airport that was looking to me like, what is this guy doing? But this is what it is. False hope for Beppe, because Thuram scored at that moment. Juventus that in the second half, they didn't score. They didn't score like Tudor teams, because it's already 6th game where Juventus is not able to score a single goal in second half. So when I get up in that plane, when I was obliged to shut down at the end of the first half the phone and not watching the second half, I was like, we will never score a second goal. So I'm praying. I'm in the sky. I'm that high, that close to maybe the god of football, to tell him, please make sure that Bologna doesn't score. Of course, Bologna scores. Of course, Bologna scores. It ends 1-1. When I was in Sardinia, I spoke with 100 people, telling them or asking them, what was your feeling? What is the feeling that you have regarding Bologna Juve? And they all told me before the game the most optimistic one, and they were telling me we hope for a draw. All the other ones, they told me we will lose Beppe. We are sure about it. We have no chance. So at the end, is it a good draw or not? If you're looking at the ranking, we are still fourth, so you can potentially say yes, it's a good draw. On the other side, for a Juve that is obliged to fight for Champions League, that threw away already their chance against Parma, because that was the bonus, that was the joker. A draw might not be enough. A draw is not enough. And honestly, when I'm looking at the momentum, because that's the first thing I did at home arriving, I was looking at the result, I was looking at the momentum, and I see this Juventus that was nowhere. Yesterday they were totally nowhere. Not even until the 8 minutes where we score, because we have like 3 minutes of Juve pushing, we disappear, we score a goal out of nowhere, let's say, with Thuram. Also, mistake by Skorupski, and then it's over for Juve. Total possession of Bologna with 65%. A Juve that is not there. A Juve that is not there. Tudor said it, that we didn't play like I wanted to play because we prepared it in another way. Against a team that is used to play together for years, we were obliged to totally change our way of playing. Yesterday, he accepted from the beginning of the game to say, we hold back. We hold back and we hope for a solidity in defense. That, honestly, Bologna, they were not really dangerous. Savona, what a performance of, yes, from what I saw in the first half, what a performance, totally cancelling and putting out of the game Orsolini. You see, a lot of people were doubting Savona. Yesterday he played on the left in a three-man defense, and he did well. I was sure about Savona doing well in a three-man defense, depending, of course, of the growing pain, la pubalgia, but I was totally sure, so I was really happy for him, according to me and what I read online, also the best of the three in the back, better than Vega, better than Kalulu, but it's true that if you're coming and you're playing against Bologna like that, don't hope to win 3-0, 4-0, or to go with a spectacular game. You know, that intensity, that anger, that propositive football, that offensive football going into the half of the opponent of Tudor, or at least what we hope to see from a Grinta coach. Well, yesterday was not there. A really scared Juve. A scared Juve when we are taking the lead. We know it, and we are the worst team from the big one, actually the third worst team in Italy for giving away points when we are leading. 21 points we already gave away when we were leading a game. Mentally, we are not strong, and that's why I'm telling you, it's not only Lazio. This team, they can potentially win in Olimpico against Lazio and then losing a game between Udinese or Venezia, because mentally, when it's really hard, when we have the opportunities, we miss it. That's the story of this season. We are not able to keep a result. We are not able. And now you will tell me, against Lazio, on top of that, without Kenan, without Conceição, because he's not entering the ideas of Tudor, without Kelly, without Cambiaso, with the way that we saw yesterday. Yesterday was really bad. Huh? Worst of the game, 5. That's the general reading of the papers, but also from the people online. What a bad game from Weah. We don't have only the mental that we are lacking, but probably also the players to do it. A lot of people will tell me, Beppe, yeah, but Tudor, the changes, Beppe, too late again. Guys, did you see who was on the bench yesterday? We have 6 field players on the bench. Huh? We have Bangulat is coming back from an injury, so he has not been tested by Tudor a lot. He doesn't know him a lot, and that's one. We have Rui that didn't play. I don't remember when was the last game of Rui. Didn't play with Tudor. Didn't play with Thiago Motta neither. We have Adzic that the last games was playing with the next gens. We're having Douglas Luiz, 3 starts in Serie A. 3 starts. That's what we are speaking about. A player that a week ago we discovered that he was renting against Juve. We had an Alberto Costa. Well, I told you guys, 15 million euro for a player that we didn't even need. Maybe a beautiful potential player, but I told you he's not ready for Serie A. Yesterday he gave another proof that I'm not wrong when I tell you Alberto Costa, with all the respect, is not ready. How can you miss a goal like that? How can you miss a goal like that? You know, when you have the goal of your life that is there, that can change maybe your career. Well, Alberto Costa is missing it. And we had a Conceição that at the moment is the player that is actually suffering the most. The change of coach by Thiago Motta to Igor Tudor. For what reason? Why is it? Because Tudor doesn't believe in him because he's not informed, because he was ranting on Instagram, because the contract situation is not good. But anyway, or because I don't know, he doesn't believe that he can change the game from the beginning. I don't know. But Conceição is the first one that is really penalized by the change of coach. And when he's looking around, and we see it, he doesn't trust the 20 players that he has at disposal. That's a fact. He doesn't trust the 20 players at disposal. And that can be a problem, because if you have 11 players for 3 games that are there, the same ones, okay. If you don't have them and you're obliged to change, well, the players, they also know that the coach is not trusting you, that they are not maybe Juve material, or they are not ready. And then you don't change. Then you're obliged to change late. That being said, I told you, nobody was believing that Juventus would do well against Bologna. Yesterday, we were actually the team that could potentially do the best against Bologna, because we are missing a few in the first half. What I saw, we really miss a few. Nico Gonzalez, again, the choice is bad, or the power on that pass that is a bit too much for Colomboigny, that could have just pushed it in the goal. Andrea Cambiaso, bad decision at a certain moment. Then that goal that has been cancelled, and to Nico Gonzalez because of an offside, and an offside in the second half to Cambiaso. I watched the images again, then I'm asking myself, okay, semi-automatic VAR and great and offside, but when will we be able, fans, to see when really the ball is leaving the foot of the player? Because they show us images, am I sure for a few millimeters that this is the moment that the ball went away from the foot of Locatelli? I am not convinced about it. I'm absolutely not convinced about it. Anyway, this is what it is for the game of Bologna-Juve. But did you see the ranking? Did you see the ranking? Roma, Lazio, they are behind Juve in terms of just chronology, because if you're looking at the points, Juve 63, Roma 63, Lazio 63, Bologna 62, Atalanta, they all consider them already qualified to Champions League. Fiorentina, they all consider them out of the Champions League. So one spot for 4 teams with 3 games to play. I'm still pissed off with Parma losing against Como yesterday. How did we lose against Parma? That's where we maybe throw away the qualification in Champions League. And for the people that are telling me, Beppe, the 1-0s, we hate them, we don't like them. Yesterday, everyone was winning 1-0. It was enough for Napoli to keep the lead of Serie A. It was enough for Inter to continue their run to win the Serie A. It was enough for Roma to beat Fiorentina 1-0, Lazio to beat Empoli 1-0. They all did 1-0, and it was more than enough, because at the end, that's what matters. And that's the problem of Juve. We are not able to keep our lead. 1-0 is never enough for this Juve, because we can't. We can't keep a lead. 1-0 is not enough. That's what I was praying for in the plane. Please don't score Bologna, because I'm not sure if we will be able to score a goal. This weekend can be decisive, good or bad. Good or bad can be decided for a lot of teams, because Roma is playing against Atalanta, so hopefully Atalanta will go and make the points that are necessary to qualify to Champions League. Bologna is playing against Milan. Hopefully Milan, they want to enter Conference League or UEFA League, I don't know where. But please, Milan, do something against that Bologna. Really, hopefully, that Atalanta is stopping Roma, that Milan is stopping Bologna, so that we need to do our job against Lazio, because that's what we are speaking about, doing our job. That's the only thing. Now, I just want to mention one thing. In Italy, maybe you don't know, but you have the global page, the general page for the entire Italy, from Gazzetta dello Sport, from Corriere dello Sport. But Gazzetta and Corriere, they're also doing regional papers. So it's the same paper, but they are changing the front page to be a bit more in phase, synchro with the region where they are publishing that page, speaking a bit more about that team, if it's for Napoli, Roma, or Lazio, whatever. Yesterday, the Corriere dello Sport from Bologna was disgusting, guys, because they go with superiori. Bologna was superior to Juve. Bologna is putting down Juventus, at the end score 1-1, but what I don't like is that other title, Vergognoso rigore negato. A shameful penalty not given to Bologna, the contact McKennie against Freuler, I believe. Guys, I watched it a few times. There is no penalty. There is absolutely no penalty, because it's the player is really looking for the contact. What do you want McKennie to disappear? It's impossible. There is no penalty. But what I hate is that 3 days ago I made a video telling you there are double standards. Do you remember? Double standards about sporting justice, but especially media coverage. A media coverage that is influencing the sporting justice, that is influencing also the referees. Some people, especially from other clubs, they told me, stop being obsessed, speak about your team instead of speaking about the media, and it's always an excuse. Look at that. Because media, like Corriere dello Sport, saying vergognoso, using the words vergognoso, which is a really strong word that we learned, unfortunately, this year. Remember, è una vergogna. You remember? A shame, a real shame. Well, using that on the first page on something that was, and even if you want to give a penalty, it's still debatable. There is no penalty, but it's debatable if you want. But going with these words, you're increasing the hate for Juve. You are participating to increasing the hate for Juve with these kind of pages. Superior, yeah, maybe in the momentum, not in the shots on target, because Juventus had more shots on target than Bologna. More expected goals from Juve than Bologna at the end. So the 1-1, probably it was a score that not a lot of Juventini were hoping, because most of them they thought that we would lose against that super Bologna, but at the end, if you're looking at points, maybe it was even Juve that deserved to win the game. If you're really looking at points, at the end, we lost the game, we are not ready. Let's see what will happen until the end of the season. What else did I wanted to add on all of that? Thuram, maybe just a word about Thuram. Thuram again, fantastic yesterday, especially offensively, but pay attention, according to me, not complete yet. And when he will be complete, he will be a phenomenal. Because yesterday, again, 11 duels, he's losing 7 on them. It's a period that when he will be able to do simultaneously defensive and offensive phase, so a real box-to-box player, then we'll see a phenomenal. Today is an excellent player, probably one of the best one of this team, surely one of the best one of this team, the best signing of season 24-25, maybe the only great signing of June, but I would be calm because I already start seeing people comparing him to the first Vidal. The first Vidal at Juve was something else, guys, was something else. We must also hope that Gatti is recuperating. There are a few chances for Vlahovic, a bit less, but still chances for Koopmeiners and a bit of chances for Gatti. Hopefully that these 3 players are recuperating for a crucial game against Lazio. That will be super important. Today is the birthday of Emanuele Giaccherini. I already told you I had the pleasure in Sardinia to meet him, to speak with him. I don't know if I already told you in the intro or not, but when I went back from Sardinia yesterday to the airport for 45 minutes, I was in the minivan, with one representative from Juve, myself. I was with Sergio Brio, I was with Giaccherini, with Barzagli, and with the 2 wives of the players. It was really a beautiful trip in Sardinia, going to the airport. Then we spoke to each other as well. I didn't know Emanuele Giaccherini personally. Yesterday I had the opportunity to speak with him. What a great guy. What a really sincere, great guy. Was really, really nice. So happy birthday to him. In a few days it will be the one of Barzagli, so I will come back on Barzagli in 3 days. But no, what a fantastic experience. Professionally, but also being there, wow. Chapeau. I will come back because the video is already too long and we are already super late today. If you did it, please put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and then maybe this evening we come back with a live. If not, it will be tomorrow with the Supermercato, because Højlund is the name that today they are pushing. Højlund is the name that today they are pushing close to Juve, and I hope it doesn't happen.